Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you are new. If you're new here, my name is Elena and I am the homeschooling mama to 3 kiddos. Here on this channel, we talk about everything from homeschooling to homemaking, a little faith and fitness, and anything else that could possibly fall in between those lines there. So we talk about life. Today we're diving into a little bit of my fitness, and I just wanted to introduce you to a new little series that I'm gonna do just for a couple weeks is what I'm thinking. It may turn into something longer. It just depends on how it goes. So if you are already a subscriber, first, thank you so much for being a part of our little YouTube family here. But if you just happened upon our video, you may not know that I have a couple other videos on this channel documenting my health journey. So I have put together different kind of planners and journals and things like that that I've kept, and I've kind of tracked along my different health and wellness journeys, and I like to do them in 90-day increments. I'm wrapping up my second 90-day increment here on this channel. What I found as I was gearing up towards the end was that I had these final pounds that were just not budging, and I also found that my 90-day journey is like a roller coaster, much like life. It is just hit and miss for me. So I figured what basically I had been doing was following macros, not super closely during the week. I had some good days, I had some bad days, and then I had some really tough mental days where, you know, it was just tough. And so sometimes what I was doing was undoing all of the days that I was tracking. So say I was tracking really well Monday through Friday, or even Monday through Thursday, the weekend would come and I would allow myself higher macro days, but I wouldn't track as well, and I was just undoing the work that I had done during the week. I also went through a couple of spells where it was really hard for me to work out and find the energy to do that, and just I don't want to say motivation to do it, because motivation is waning. It's going to come and it's going to go, and really what it comes down to is consistency and discipline. And I was just lacking in those areas. And so coming up on my second 90-day journey, the ending of it, I really wanted to give these last few weeks all of my go. I wanted to sit down, buckle up, and really say that I gave it the full effort and I did all that I could. So I sat down with my husband and I talked to him about my goals and what I was looking at and what I was hoping to accomplish. When it comes to fitness, my husband is really great at kind of coming up with workout plans and just knowing what certain exercises do and that sort of part of it. When it comes to me, I look more closely at the nutrition and the macros and the counting and that kind of stuff. So that is why we sat down together. I feel like we balance each other out really well in that area. We sit down together so that we can get closer to what we're inspiring to do or hoping to accomplish. So I sat down with him because this will not only affect me, my plan going forward, but it was also going to affect the family life. Typically what I have been doing is eating breakfast and lunch. I kind of was tracking those. Dinner time was coming increasingly harder for me to track. I would kind of do more of a guesstimate and kind of eyeball things. But if you know, after a while, you really need to go back to weighing and tracking things that way, because your eyeball size, when you're eyeballing the size, if you've been doing it for a while, you can get not lazy, but it can kind of get askewed. And if you haven't been tracking and, like I said, weighing, it's not going to be as accurate as you would like. So I prefer to weigh out foods, because when you measure something, a lot of times if you measure half a cup, some people are going to level that cup right off, and some people are going to be like, how much can I fit in half a cup? Because technically it's still half a cup, but it's not, it's more than that. So that's why I like to weigh my food out and things like that. So the way that this was going to affect my family is that I was essentially going to start sitting down and meal planning out meals for me according to my macros, according to my macro goals and calorie goals. Right now, I am still just counting my calorie goal and my protein macros. When you generally do macro counting, you are doing the 3 major ones. You are doing, which is macro instead of micro. You are doing your protein, your fats, and your carbs. But for me, for my sanity right now, what I'm going to be doing is staying within my calorie range and counting my protein, making sure that I'm hitting as close to my protein goal as I can get. And I kind of feel like the carbs and the fats will fall into place as long as I'm staying within that calorie range. Now I do have a calorie range because when you try to hit just one specific calorie number, it can become a very mental game, at least for me. Say your calorie goal is 1400. If you get to 1402, you may feel like, oh no, I went over my goal. If you get to 1399, you can feel like I missed it. I was so close, but I missed it. And so that is the kind of person I am, and I know that I needed to have a range. So I am having I have a range for 4 lower days, and then I have a range for 3 higher days for the week. And like I said, I'm just going to be super consistent and make sure that I am weighing the food out and hitting those goals. So that's where meal planning for myself is coming into play, because I'm going to start prepping meals more frequently. Right now I was doing some lunches here and there for my husband and I. My husband will typically take lunch to work. He does not count his macros. He's fortunate that he doesn't have to. He does great just being able to work out. Yes, I'm slightly jealous that he can do that, but that's how his body is built. So he doesn't count macros, but what I was doing was prepping lunches for us, and I would just weigh out my food when I could and have the macros calculated for my lunch. But then I would have dinner time with my family, and I would eat whatever dinner I made for the family. So that's why I sat down with him and I let him know, look, this is a goal that I'm really trying to reach. I really want to know that I gave it my all and that I did everything that I could health-wise for myself to obtain this goal. And so I wanted to start prepping dinners for me as well, which meant a lot of times I would be having a separate dinner than my family. Now I still sit down with them when I can, and I still try to make it as similar as I can to them. You'll see what I'm planning to do is show you some of my meal preps, some of my grocery hauls, things that I'm buying, just a little bit of this final journey of this cutting phase. So it is a cutting season for me, which means that it's a calorie deficit that I'm taking. It is really less than 10 pounds that I'm trying to lose. It is like these last 6 to 8 pounds that I just cannot get to budge. And now I know I am over 40. I'm 43 years old, but that the scale does have variances. So one day you will weigh something, the next day you will weigh something out. You could step on the scale several times a day and weigh different things each time you step on that scale. So you don't want to make it seem like it is this magical number that I need to get to and that the scale is the be all end all of it. It isn't. But it is really important to me to get to a lower body weight. So that is what I'm trying to do. I do know that I've had some body recompositioning going on, which just means that I have gained muscle and lost some fat. I know this because my weight is having a hard time moving, and I have seen visibly gained muscle. So I know that there's a little bit of that happening, and muscle technically doesn't weigh more than fat. I mean, 5 pounds is 5 pounds, but it looks differently on your body. So 5 pounds of fat looks very differently than 5 pounds of muscle. And that's typically why we think that muscle weighs more than fat. It doesn't actually, it just looks differently on the body. So I know that some of that has been happening, which is why I'm just trying to give myself grace with the scale. But this is a goal that I'm trying to reach. And like I keep saying, I just want to know that I did my all to get there. I also know that there are some healthier changes that are happening in my body because my clothes are fitting better. Measurements, I do take my measurements as well. And so there's been a difference in there. Last month, if you want to see the kind of recap that I do once a month, I will link that for you up in the cards as well. But you can take a look at that. And then, like I said, I've documented some of the other parts of my 90-day journey, but I think I lost a little bit over an inch in my waist so far. And so I know, like I said, that there is some recompositioning going on in my body, but there's still room for improvement for me. And so that's what we're doing. We're heading into a little bit of a season of calorie deficit, or a cutting season, or a lower calorie, or a diet, or whatever you want to call it. You can call it that. I'm just trying to get through, give it my final push, give it all that I've got, because it is important to me that I, one, prove to myself that I can set out a goal and stick to it. I'm always a big advocate for my kids to see me setting goals as well, and really doing all that I can to try to obtain them. So if you want to join along, if you'd like to see, If this is something of interest to you, make sure that you have that subscribe button hit and the bell notification so that I don't get lost in all your other fun subscriptions that you have here on YouTube. And then you can see how close I get to reaching my goal and how this journey ends up going for me. I also want to say again that I am a homeschooling mama to 3. So if you have any other YouTubers that maybe you follow that are moms and kind of have a busy lifestyle too, let me know down in the comments below. I really love to have some other inspiration, follow some other people on here. There are a couple of other fitness type people that I'm following here on YouTube. Some of them don't, most of them actually don't have children. So it is just kind of a little bit different having a family and embarking on a journey like this. But we're all in it for the health. We're all here to make ourselves the best versions of us that we can be. And that's what I'm hoping to do. So like I said, if that's something that's of interest to you, I really hope that you come alongside and join me on the journey and become a little part of our YouTube family here. If you're already part of our little YouTube family, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means so much that you have joined our little family here on YouTube. If you liked this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up so I know what kind of content you are looking for as well. There's a little something for everybody on here. We talk about homeschooling, homemaking, a little bit of wannabe homesteading, planners. I'm a planner girl, like the paper and pen thing. So you'll see that in my faith journey or in my fitness journey as well. But that's enough gabbing for now. I just want to leave you with one more note. If you haven't been told today, please know you are deeply and truly loved and you are so appreciated. Thanks for watching.